Today's Sunday and it's market day here in Valldemossa. It's the 19th of February, just checking there, 2023. It's a beautiful sunny day, and so we come to have a look. Not much of a market. I don't think there's ever very much of a market here in Valdemossa. It's only a very small village, and probably at this time of the year it is going to be quite small anyway. So a few stalls, which are sort of the fruit and veg stalls and the chicken stalls.
Smell it.
I can smell it. It's roasting away those chickens, so they do really smell very good. And we're just going to have a look around the market, and then we'll head off into the town. And the thing that caught my eye really, I think, was just the beautiful colours. The oranges, the apples, bananas, all the fruits. A really nicely presented fruit and vegetable stall here. And just behind there's a leather handbag, which is sort of one thing you find at most markets here. And then when I asked Anita where we wanted to go today, she said wanted to go and buy some flowers, so it looks like she's got some choice of flowers here. All looking very nice. Yeah. You can buy a tree. More fruit and vegetables on this side. And here are the chickens that we can smell. Roasting away nicely there. Yeah, we did try to get chickens at another market, and we were unsuccessful. They seemed to have lots of chickens, but unfortunately they were all reserved. So we missed out on that particular occasion. We've just driven here, and just as we parked up we said we should have caught the bus. And the bus is great and it's now free. It's just lacks that bit of convenience, doesn't it? So it's not one bus for us, it's two buses. So we have to catch a bus into Palma and then a bus up to Valdemossa, and it would make it a very long journey. It'd probably take nearly a whole day travelling, because it takes over half an hour to get into Palma, and then I'm sure it's going to be half an hour to come up here. So that's at least an hour, and then you've got the exchanging time in Palma. So we're talking about potentially an hour, 2 hours, possibly in each direction. That's 4 hours. It's too much, isn't it? I suppose if you intend to make a day of it and come for lunch, then that's a possibility, but we have other plans for later on today, so we need to be back home around lunchtime. But Valdemossa, where we are now, is a thriving village, one of the wealthiest villages apparently on the island, and people who work in Palma can choose to come and live here, and it's just a drive down into Palma. It doesn't take too long in the car, 15 minutes, 20, maybe not even that. Probably a bit longer on a summer day when it's a lot busier. It's very quiet today. Some of the shops are closed. It's mostly pedestrianised, so fairly safe to walk down the middle of the streets. and lots of places for us to go for coffee. And it's got that historical interest as well. But clearly tourists here. There are a lot of tourists on the island from the mainland. We were in Magaluf the other day, and there's Guadalupe Hotel is one of the Magaluf hotels, popular with the British in the summer, and that's open but full of Spanish pensioners. Anita's just buying a lottery ticket, so I'm just having a look around. A panaderia, bread and cakes and pastries. And then on this side we've got a cafe. We could stop for a coffee. Not sure whether we're going to walk a bit further. She's got the winning lottery ticket. She had 3 yesterday, not a single number, not one. Yeah. So we had a look inside. It's a little bit dark in there. So she's found a gift shop there. Always dangerous, isn't it? Always dangerous. I'm going to wander on a little bit further. So just across the road, I'm looking at Safagonya. It's a popular name for restaurants. I must find out what Safagonya means. Someone maybe can tell me. And they do a menu, €13.90. You choose the dish of the day, and it includes bread and a drink and a coffee. So it's not a 3-course meal as you find in many places, but you've got a good choice of different things you can have there with your drink and your bread and coffee included. Yes. $13.90 for Valdemossa, that's probably a very fair price. We are up in the Tramontana. It is really a beautiful area. Mountains, views, and very popular with tourists. There's a cappuccino. And then just down in front of us, there's an old road that goes down there, and it's got a sign which says Palma and an arrow pointing down there. That must be the old road to Palma. This is Plaza Ramonul.
You know that?
I didn't know that now. I do know that now because I've just read the sign. So got a bit of a... This is quite steep here, and some of these... Maybe the ayuntamientos put a carpet out. Because I can imagine if this is wet, it's probably quite slippy. So could be a bit dangerous, but it is steep. And the reason for coming up here is to go to the church and the Cartucha, which is the monastery. And the reason you'd want to go to the monastery is because, well, you might be interested in monasteries, I suppose. It's also the place where Chopin and George Sand stayed, and it means you can have a look to see his quarters there, and they've got amazing views over the valley. We'll not be going there today, but on another occasion. Yeah, George Sand's named George, but he's Baron Aurora, she's a lady. Baroness, yeah. And so, yes, she and Chopin were a couple, and they came to Majorca for a winter escape.
1838.
Oh, look at that, I've got my historian on the ball here.
And had the worst weather ever.
And he came here because he was not feeling too well. He'd got lung problems, and he thought that coming here would help him with that. So he came out. No motorways, no buses, no cars. Of course, he had to come by horse and trap. So he had a very bumpy ride to get up to here, to Valldemossa. The weather was terrible, wet, cold, windy.
It was November when they came as well.
And so they didn't have the best of winters in Majorca. So this is the ticket office, and it looks like nothing very much is open today. Yesterday, if we'd come yesterday, it would have been a bit more exciting, because not only have they got the George Sands and Chopin exhibitions here, but they've also started a new one which is going to run through the season. Didn't know about this, did you? On guess who? Joan Miró. Joan Miró, the artist, which we've been to the museum a week or so ago.
There's lovely vases in there.
And they've got an exhibition of posters and other pictures by him. I'm not sure they've got any sculptures. He's quite well known for his sculptures as well. The door here, which is actually closed, there's actually a theatre there, and you go in, you pay your money, and you have a concert, and then there's a museum to walk around as well. There's another plaque here to Ruben Dario. If you've watched any of the videos where I walk along the front in Palma, in Mallorca area, there's actually a statue of Ruben Dario, who was a poet in the Hispanic languages.
Nice view of the monastery from there.
Right, that's the end of the church, isn't it? The tower. It's Sunday and the church seems to be closed. I always find that strange. How do you close a church on a Sunday? Unless there's another entrance.
Magdalene said it was closed till the 2nd of March or something in the church.
This square where we're in now, which is in front of the church, certainly in the summertime, the restaurant here. We've got the restaurant there, all the chairs and the sunshades are out, and people will be dining here. Certainly, it's a place we've dined in the past. The square where we are is referred to as the Plaza de Cartucha, and the tickets for the Cartucha, well, we used to get those over here, so I'm just going to have a little check. And if you park in the car park, if you're very lucky and you park in the car park, you used to bring your ticket here, and I think you got some money off. Yeah, so that's the ticket office there. And right next to that there's an art gallery. Next to this we've got the Can Molinas cafeteria, and that's the place which you've seen down below, so it's actually on different levels. And yes, we've dined there. I've lost Anita already. You can see it's that time of year where we've got temperatures where people are not quite sure, so you'll find some people who are in shirt sleeves, and you'll find some people who are wrapped up in thick, warm coats. And I'm just going to sit down and wait here until Anita reappears. And here she comes.
Lovely shot, that is. Massive.
Yeah? We'll walk to the gardens.
Yes.
So walk around this way, going down by the side of the church now. There's actually a sign here that says WC. Something don't do very well, I don't think, in Mallorca is public toilets, but here we have public toilets. Ladies and gentlemen, wet floor, so they've just been cleaned. I'm just going to head down into the garden. So we can go down some steps, or we can go down a ramp. This one's not so steep. This is quite a nice garden area. De Juan Carlos the Primero. It's the Ayuntamiento. So in here it's quite nicely looked after, and a number of bronzes, a number of statues, including, eventually when we walk around to the other side, one of Chopin. This is the Archduke Louis Salvador. (1847 to 1915). Very narrow little walkways through here, and the flowers are not perhaps at their best. A bit like,
Bringing the children from school and then running around here.
a bit like one-way traffic, but it is actually very well kept. So it's nice and clean, nicely pruned, nicely trimmed. Almost like a maze, I think, so that's probably why children like it.
Nice agapanthus over there.
You've just spotted the agapanthus. Really tall trees here. And we get the rear view from the church as we walk around with its bell towers. I've not heard them ringing at all today.
Did it? Struck 11 o'clock.
Did it? So we've got about 3 or 4 minutes and we get 11:30 maybe. Go this way. I see another bronze there. Is that the Chopin? Do you like your music?
When he was here, he composed his Raindrop Prelude.
Oh, now get the piano out, darling. You can play us a few bars. So there he is. Wolfgang Amadeus Chopin. Oh, no, Frederick Chopin. His eyes closed. It's almost like a death mask, I think. Polish composer, of course. So Anita's got the connection. And it's not the only bronze you see of of Chopin. You'll find other bronzes elsewhere. And there's one in, it's probably called Plaza Chopin, isn't it, in Palma. Easy to miss some of these. There's one over there that's quite hidden. Clever. So there's, I don't think that's a bronze, that looks like a stone bust of Catalina Omar. One over there which is a little bit hidden, so I'm going to investigate to see who that is. I haven't said anything about Catalina Omar because I don't know who she was. Again, one to look up. Get a history lesson on these tours. And this is a bronze. It is Santiago. Can you read the name below that? Maybe if I get the camera closer, we'll be able to read it later on. But his name was Santiago, and we just did hear the bells toll, and they were tolling for 11:30. That's got to be coffee time, darling. I always think morning coffee, 11 o'clock. I think that's probably from my teaching days when we would normally have a break around that time. It's definitely a one-way traffic, this. So there was a poll on TripAdvisor's about the most beautiful places in the world, and Mallorca's up there in the top 10, of course, because it is. And we spoke to some friends who live in England, and they desperately want to come and live and retire here, because it is such a beautiful place, and there's so many different beautiful places you can actually go and visit. It's in camera. Yeah, we've had a menu there, lunch there. I think on more than one occasion, actually. Once you get into the sun, you just start to appreciate the warmth. If it's still in the shade, it's quite cool, with temperatures still only creeping up to 20 degrees. They're not quite there, maybe late teens. But a really pretty village. I need to spotted a shop. And if you're a photographer or a videographer, then there are some, well, besides the village itself being one of the most picturesque on the island, there are just some magnificent views. just gone in there. I'll just wander down so you can actually see a little bit of these views. So the road that we go down there, there is actually a viewing point, and we'll see if Anita's up to it or just walking to it. It's not far, we'll just go down there. But if I just walk down here just a little way, you can see this road I was talking about, which actually the old sign, which is nearly been erased at the top, it says Palma. But down below, that looks a much newer sign. It actually says the old road to Palma, and that way it is. And just look at those magnificent buildings. I just love them. I really do. But let me just come this a little bit further and just look over the wall, and you'll look into the valley then, and that valley takes us down into the plains leading on to Palma. And I know that might look like a swimming pool down there, but it's not supposed to be. Well, maybe people do, I don't know. It's not for swimming. It's a tank of water which is used for watering the gardens, watering the plants. And in the countryside you'll find many places with those. There's actually another church down there as well. Not sure whether we've ever been to that one. She's been into another shop, but she has no bag, so she's not come out with anything. Maybe, I don't know. We can walk down here and then walk up on the other road. It's really quite pretty, very pretty. I'm going to hold the camera up a little bit. This is very much a sought after area to live, and so you'll find property here has a distinct premium and costs more than most places on the island. I'm just reading in the newspaper the problems of people, local people who live here, buying or renting properties is just becoming very, very difficult. They've just raised the minimum wage. The minimum wage has been raised to 1,080 euros per month, and the newspaper was doing an estimate to see what people could actually afford to rent. If you take the calculation, just looking at the view over there for a moment, if you take the calculation that you should spend about 30% of your salary on rent and accommodation, then that is only 300 euros. So the newspaper went out and to try and find somewhere for 300 euros. They did actually find somewhere. There was somewhere on the island. It was actually 3 bedrooms, but no photographs. There was no photographs of this place. So, well, you just wonder at what sort of condition it was actually in. So they upped it to about from 300 up to 800, and on the whole island they could only find 75 properties. 75 properties on the whole island for 800 euros or less. So they said the majority were in the 1,000 to 1,500 euro rental market, which means that people just can't afford to rent here. People who are living on that minimum sort of wage. So that's a really big issue. So one of the things the local government needs to do is to provide accommodation somehow, build new properties or take over properties that were previously used for other things. And that is one of the things I spoke about in another video, is the barracks in Palma, which will provide a considerable accommodation for people actually right in the centre of Palma. Go down this next road and we have the other church that we could see, which is the Saint Bartholomew, Casa Natal, Santa Catalina Thomas, and the municipal library. As you go down, this is a street. It's got a name. It's called Carrero. It's the street of the rose, Rosa, La Rosa.
Got any roses?
But you can see how narrow. Not really intended for traffic, though we do get the occasional vehicle because people need to access the properties. But really, really pretty. It's another little bakery. Bakery's very popular, aren't they? I think this is about the third or fourth one we've seen. And how pretty is that with the rustic fencing and the flower pots and the blooms. It's very, very steep. There's a bench at the top there, but we're not going to go down there, are we, dear? No, I thought not. We'll carry on round a little bit.
I might just go take a photograph of this.
I'm going to take a photograph of the flower pots. People obviously do live here, and they have a lot of people like us, tourists, coming round to go up into their homes. Lovely old doors, very weathered. Quite often you'll see pieces of wood, pieces of plastic, some quite ornamental, which are outside the doors to prevent the rain splashing back onto them. So clean and well kept. Beautiful little alleyways. And then magnificent mountains just at the end. It's just so picture book. In different parts you'll see scratches on the wall where car, a van, a lorry's tried to make it up and kissed the side, as it were. If you come in the summer, you'll find there's a lot more people walking through the streets, so it gets a little bit busier. So you're unlikely to get pictures like this of Anita walking up solitary through the street there. Did you get your photograph? That will be sent worldwide. We go up. Now, a bit lost which way I'm going. I think we'll go this way. It is all a little bit up and down here. It's in the mountains and it's built on a hillside, so if you do come, do be prepared to do a bit of up and down walking. But you can always stop and just admire the architecture. It is a warren of streets.
sale.
All right, so here's one for sale. They won't find many for sale, and they won't stay for sale for very long. So if you're interested, the trick here really is just to take it all very, very slowly. Should a car come your way, step out of the way. Another one here actually. This could be your dream house.
Oh, the garden.
A fantastic project with building permit. That means it's probably not in very good condition at the moment. 396 square meters with several terraces. That's big. 396 square meters is big. Lovely garden, 107 square meters. It's also got a pool. My guess is that's going to be a lot of money. And because we're walking in the sun, it's very warm. Turn round just down there. They've built some new properties, but the new properties are very in keeping with the style of the village, so they don't actually look new. And look at that. I wonder if they're real fossils. They look real. Built into the side of your house. Of course, this mountain range here is largely fossil bearing, so it's sedimentary rocks, limestone type rocks, sandstone type rocks, and that means that fossils will be fairly plentiful if you know where to look and spend the time looking. Here they make their own sobrasada. Naughty but nice for me, that.
Not good for you.
A little of what you like does you good. Parking must be really a premium here if you live here. None of these will have car parks or garages, I don't think. And maybe the new ones will, because when they build properties here, I think they like to see that there is at least a parking with the property. And then quite a rarity for the village is a block of apartments which does appear to have garages. Again, they've tried to keep it in keeping with the stonework of the rest of the village. So all of these houses, the older ones anyway, made out of just local stones that they will have dug out of the ground in the vicinity. Actually walking more or less parallel to the main road that goes through Valldemossa towards the coast. Noticed also in the paper this week, Richard Branson is hiring. He's looking for 60 people to work in his new hotel, which is in Baleares.
Going to do the videoing for you.
He's actually presented the job application with a video, and so he wants everything from waiters to cleaners to managers, all the different jobs that are required of a hotel. This is going to be an expensive, high-class hotel, and it is pretty much in the middle of nowhere. So one of the prerequisites is that everyone who works there has got to have a car. So you're going to be earning some money to have a car, pay the rent, just go to work. So I don't know what sort of pay that he's offering. So you see there's a board up against the door there, and that's just to protect the lower part of the door. Both sides we've got them now from splashes when it rains. And it does rain at strange times. We had a rain storm the other day, not predicted at all, and it was actually quite heavy. And without these, the bottom of the doors gets very wet and starts to rot and get damaged. So down, I don't know if you can see the one there, 15A, that's got quite damaged by damp. But 17 there has got some metal, I think, or board attached to it. And this one here, number 10, that's got some metal attached to it as well. The metal will help to protect the wood below. It's very, very typical in these old villages, or any villages actually in Mallorca.
It's like a maze, isn't it?
It is a maze, quite amazing, very pretty. At this point I'm beginning to wish I hadn't put my coat on. Oh yes. And just around the corner, is the wash area. So here there's water coming in from the mountains, it's dripping off the rocks there, it's coming out of the mountain, coming into here, and this used to be an area where ladies, I'm being sexist, but that's what it would have been, ladies will have come here to do their washing, and they would have sat or stood, and this is where all the washing would have been done, and the water gets refreshed constantly from the streams that are coming down, and then it will overflow at the end. I'm not sure whether we're at an overflow point, Yeah, it's full. And see there, the water would go down there, but the water would be constantly being replaced. You find lots of the villages in Mallorca do have these wash areas. Okay, just down there. I know. We're getting desperate now, dear. So this is Carrer de Catalina Homa, and we're just approaching the Chopin Street. Well, we're back down to where the church was. We've done our circular route. Actually, this is one of the shops where I think you bought some pottery work from here. Is it this one?
Have a look inside.
It's got Valdemossa's secrets.
What did I buy from here last time?
I don't know. Cute little things there. Oh no, they sell clothes. Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh dear. I'll leave that to Anita. Yes, it's nice to see a few people walking around. It will get very, very busy though as the season starts to progress, and the season's starting really very, very soon. We're fast approaching March, and I think that's when lots of things are going to kick off. Looking at some of the different notices boards that I look at, lots of hotels opening, lots of businesses are going to start opening in March. Some won't, of course, some will save and wait. But March seems to be quite popular this year. And then, of course, by the time we get to April, we've got Easter, and then things will really start to kick off. So we go back down now, and we're back almost now in the town.
A veces digo, bueno, voy a ver a mi nieto un ratito y así. Yes. Abro la ventana. Yo respiro.
So, I mean, we've got yeah. And sit here and watch the world go by. Well, we stopped off again. This is actually take 2 because I don't think I recorded the sound on the last one. And we're sitting in the street. It's quite busy, lots of people walking by, so we can keep an eye on what's going on. And Anita's just reminded me that last time we came, I can't remember when that was, we're going to have to look it up, all of this street was being dug up. And so it's all been repaired now, it's all back to the way it should be, and it's looking really good. So we'll enjoy our coffee, and then we'll move on, perhaps go back to the market. So cheers.
We're celebrating Majorca's win yesterday as well. You mentioned that.
I don't think I have I? So we went to the football last night, and it was a mad day yesterday, and we went to see Real Mallorca play Villarreal. And in the first 20 minutes, Majorca scored, and then Villarreal scored. And then Majorca scored again, and then Villarreal scored again. So it was 2-2. But Majorca came back with 2 more goals and ended up winning 4-2. And then that's one of the best matches we've ever seen, I think. Certainly to see Majorca score 4 goals is something quite exceptional. So we all came away very happy. Yep, we're right up there near the top of the table, so all looking very good. So, well, we're going to enjoy our coffee now, and we'll catch up a little bit later. I've had a nice coffee there, and watch the world go by a little bit, and now we're going to head back to the market. It's looking a little bit busy here actually. It's getting towards lunchtime, and Anita was just spotting the voices. She can hear them, I can't. But she was telling me there was quite a few German-speaking people, as well as the Spanish people as well. But yeah, lots of different nationalities. Just noticing the oranges on the trees. I'm just thinking there's a car behind me. Gift shop, which has got the artisan type things as well. So there's lots of wooden utensils there, made from olive wood. The markets will be coming towards the end now. What time did they say the market closed? 2 o'clock. We've still got an hour or so. Assuming they've got anything left, of course. Anita got her eye on the flowers, and we might get some veggies. Do you want to see about a chicken, see if there's any not reserved, or?
Hola, buen día. Sí. ¿Patatas?
No, solo cortado.
¿Salsa?
Sí.
Do you want any potatoes?
Do you want some? Sí, patatas también.
Para mí. No, no para ella, solo para mí. Me gustan las patatas.
Change your plan around, get some lettuce and stuff.
¿Lo cobras con tarjeta? Sí. ¿Lo puedes cobrar? Sí. Sí. Ten, vete, llévatelo. ¿Eh?
Tot ben vestit.
30 m'has dicho? 40. Vale, pues. Ahora, ¿dónde? 15.
Es que no lo sé, cariño.
Espera un segundo.
Tengo otras tarjetas. Sí, está.
Ah, tiene que poner su número. El número, sí.
20.
Te buscaba y no.
Y 50. Gracias.
Gracias.
Buen apetito.
I'm going to keep this for my flowers.
So we've got now a lovely chicken. What else do you want to get?
Salad.
Some salad. All I thought she wanted was flowers. There's another one this side as well. There's lettuce there, look.
I was going to get one of these. One of those. I'll just get one of these. Shall I just get one of these?
I don't mind. See what you fancy. So what have you got there, dear?
Lettuces and nice tomatoes. I'm just going over here.
Just take that with you. You can't leave it there.
Staying here.
No. It's your friend. I'm sure this is the one you buy stuff from in every market. What are you getting?
Following these people around. ¿Cuántas valen?
5 euros.
5. There we go.
11 euros.
Anita's got her flowers now. She's a happy girl. Muy contento. I've got my chicken and my potatoes.
Chicken, potatoes and flowers.
This is a store we didn't look at before. This one's with the chilies and the sobrasadas and garlic, and the honey and chorritos. Oh, it's all very naughty but nice for me. You get a sobrasada sandwich there.
Lovely colour they are.
They are beautiful. Well, we're going to finish where we started at the market here in Valdemossa. We've had a really nice little walk around. Beautiful day, and we've got some things to take home, some nice chicken and some nice flowers. So thanks very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. So bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.